The Patriots win again. Dare I say they're starting to feel a little super. Are the Bruins and Celtics for real? And Pedro Martinez stops by to talk some Red Sox. The Boston Globe Sports Report starts right now. Welcome to the Boston Globe Sports Report. I am Ben Volin, going to be joined today by Globe Sports columnist Chad Finn. We'll have Red Sox legend Pedro Martinez by later to talk about the Red Sox offseason, and then we're going to get Danielle Dubois at the end of the show to get your hot takes from the fans. Okay, let's start off the show after further review. Chad Finn, the Patriots win again. 7th in a row. They're 8-2 now. The gravy train keeps rolling for the Patriots. Have you booked your flights yet for San Francisco for Super Bowl 60?
I was going to ask you the same question, Ben. There are some vibes here that feel like Super Bowl teams of Patriots past, which is a great feeling. It's been a while, right? But I'm not booking that quite yet, but anything feels possible right now, the way Drake May is playing and the way everything has kind of come together for this Patriots team.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing to beat up on the bad teams, which they've been doing, but then to go into a soggy, humid Tampa yesterday on Sunday and take down a solid Buccaneers team. I'm not booking my flights yet to the Super Bowl, Chad, but I've got one eye on the airfare so far, especially when you look at the schedule. Is there anyone left on the Patriots' schedule that scares you at this point? They've got the Jets coming up on Thursday night. They've got the Giants in a couple weeks. They just fired their coach. The Cincinnati Bengals. I mean, the Patriots, Chad, it feels like are going to go 15-2 this year.
Well, it's not the Jets Thursday night, right? We can probably chalk that up in advance as a win. You never want to do that. Mike Vrabel won't do that, but as reporters, fans can probably feel that way too. I'm a little curious about that Ravens game and what that Baltimore team looks like when the Patriots play them. They're always a tough matchup. It doesn't matter if Joe Flacco, Lamar Jackson, Kyle Bowler, whoever is their quarterback. They are always a difficult team for the Patriots to play. I think they're going to get a little bit healthier here with Lamar being back now and looking like himself. That's a real tough one. And they might lose a game along the way you don't anticipate them losing. I don't know who that would be, who they would lose to there, but there might be a surprise in that.
But, you know, way. They're banking so many wins right now that anything less than like 13-4 is gonna almost feel disappointing. Like if they finish the season on a 4-3 stretch, given how easy their schedule is. Chad, is there anyone even in the AFC who even scares you? I'd say maybe the Colts right now. They keep winning impressively, both with offense and with defense. I'm not buying the Broncos. The Chiefs are all over the place. Like, this really is wide open for the Patriots.
It is wide open. I'm still scared of the Chiefs, even though they're, 3-4, right? Something like that. Not in the playoff picture at this point. They're coming off their bye week, but as long as you have Patrick Mahomes and some of the talent on that team, I could see them going on a run and being a very difficult team to play in the playoffs. But I keep waiting for Daniel Jones to fall on his face. It looks like he did that 2 weeks ago, but bounced back pretty well this past Sunday. So I think the Patriots probably are the odds-on favorite right now, but there's some teams you have to keep an eye on.
Sure. A Patriots-Colts AFC Championship game. Man, we could party like it's 2005 all over again. Chad, I think what strikes me most about the Patriots and their 8-2 start this year is this team is fun. I mean, against the Buccaneers yesterday, Travion Henderson, 2 long touchdowns. Drake May pushing the ball down the field. When was the last time the Patriots were this fun?
This fun, probably the 2018 postseason, right? Because 2019, you remember they started 8-0, but Tom Brady was miserable because you could kind of see what that team was. It wasn't really fun, even though they were winning. 2021 with Mac Jones, he's Mac Jones. The ceiling was low. So it's been, I would say, at least 7 years.
Yeah, I think back, honestly, to 2016, the Tom Brady Deflategate Revenge Tour. I mean, because it was kind of a grind in the final few years, but it's been a while. I mean, we're getting, I hate to say it, almost 2001 vibes from this team, just from where they're coming from. All right, speaking of, that was a pretty hot take. Now let's move on to this week's hot take. Mike Vrabel has certainly gotten plenty of credit for the Patriots' remarkable turnaround, and Drake May, too. He's now the favorite to win MVP. But for today's hot take, you know what? It's time we also give Elliott Wolf his due. He was not a popular man when the Patriots retained him in the spring, but the Patriots offseason has been a smash. Their free agents are all thriving. Stephon Diggs, Mac Hollins, Robert Spillane, Milton Williams, the list goes on. And now the draft picks are a home run. Travion Henderson, Kyle Williams are scoring touchdowns, Will Campbell. Yeah, Vrabel has a lot of influence in the front office, but last I checked, it's still Elliott Wolf's name atop the masthead, and he deserves a lot of credit for building an impressive football team. Okay, coming up next, we speak to Pedro Martinez. We catch up with him as he talks about the Red Sox and where they should go in the offseason. Welcome back to the show. And this week's interview is with Red Sox great Pedro Martinez. Our Red Sox reporter Tim Healy caught up with him at the Pedro Martinez Foundation Gala last week in Boston.
Pedro, first off, we've seen a lot of people come through today. Jason Varitek, Johnny Gomes, Jose Bautista, Carlos Gomez, the list goes on. What does it mean to you that so many teammates and friends come through for your event every year?
It means the world, and not precisely for their presence around my side, because they're always by my side. Those were my ex-teammates, my colleagues in baseball. I don't expect anything but what they do. But for the people that are doing it, which is the real ones that really need it, it means the world. So many people in need for so many things that we don't even imagine. Things that you live here, and unless you go there and you see it yourself, you experience what it's like, you don't totally get it. You don't totally understand it. And for them to take some of their time off, the year's long, but there's a lot to do, especially for people like them, to actually donate their time and donate, their efforts to be here. It means the world.
If we may talk about the Red Sox a little bit, I got to ask the former Red Sox ace about the current Red Sox ace. What did you think of Garrett Crochet in his first season in Boston?
Well, I'm actually getting flashbacks from my first time here, except that I see Garrett Crochet more prepared than I was when I first landed in Boston. Baseball abilities, well, we were right there. Whatever he is, I was. But as far as feeling secure, as far as getting to know the city so quickly and adjusting to the city, it took me a year. I would say 98 was the key year for me to actually make the adjustment and make the transition from a city like Montreal to actually come over to Boston. It was a big transition. And that's one of the things that people take lightly when we go out there and perform, but it is really difficult to do. Thank God at the time I didn't have my family. I was just a man rolling down, wanting to play baseball and wanting to do good. But for Crochet to actually come over and do what he did in his very first year, and at the same time adjust to the people, understand what the people expect out of him, and with such a high expectation on him, I'm extremely proud of him. I'm extremely proud to see a guy that can give me memories of what I wanted to do, but probably wasn't able to do. And I had a pretty good year. But Crochet's year is like unbelievable.
Next, three questions, three rapid-fire sort of situations.
Yeah.
One, when you're in Boston, number one go-to favorite place to eat, some place you have to visit.
To eat, I can't just name one.
Yeah.
I have to say all over Boston, one of the best eating cities in everywhere I've been.
Yeah.
Like I love Chicago.
Yeah.
I used to love going to Chicago. I love going to New York to eat.
Yeah.
But believe me, Boston is not, doesn't need anybody, doesn't have to envy anybody when it comes to food.
If you could pick one person on this Red Sox team when you're watching games these days, favorite person to watch, favorite player to watch?
Believe me, I have a hard time saying that, but I have to go, Gary Crochet, because I'm a pitcher.
Yeah.
But I love to watch Roman Anthony come out there, and the little time I got to see him, it's exciting to see what he might do. And I'm not taking anything from any of the other players like Marcelo, Sedan, Rafaela, who I love. I love Abreu. I love every one of them. I love Bregman. Like, I think Bregman is going to do something special every time he comes up to the plate or he's playing in the field. It's like, watching David with a bat on his hands on the on-deck circle going and getting ready. You thinking David is going to do something.
Sure.
So it's just like that. It's that feel that you get. But it is about every player because I know who they are. I know how young they are and what they probably need to become those players that we really are going to see. It's difficult to say just one, but those guys, as of now, I can say it's exciting to watch.
And last one, maybe an easy one. In your entire career, favorite teammate of all time?
Ooh, that's not easy to say.
No?
That is the most difficult question you have ever asked me. Because I had so many great teammates. I can't say David was better than Vladdy, or Manny was better than David, or Trot Nixon.
A lot of good options.
Trot Nixon isn't like my highest ranked players. Millar, I had Rondell White. I had so many great players. My captain, how can I go against Jason Veritek? You tell me. Now I'm going to put you on the spot. Where should I rank Jason Veritek?
Right at the top,
My
I guess.
my battery mate.
Is he still standing right there? Then
He's not there. He's not there. I'm telling you this between
Yeah.
us. This is personal.
Yeah.
Where should I rank Jason Veritek and Derek Lowe?
Wow. Tough to say. Tied for number one with everybody else.
So
maybe.
whatever the question was, there's your answer.
Thank you very much for joining us, Pedro and Carolina.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate
Bye.
it.
All right, thank you, Pedro Martinez and Tim Healy. Coming up next, Chad Finn and I debate the Bruins or the Celtics. Whose start is for real? Welcome back to the show. And okay, Chad Finn, it's time now for You Might Be Right. We're a few weeks now into the NHL and NBA seasons. The Bruins off to a surprising start. Not high expectations here, but they're 10-7, second place in the Atlantic Division. Celtics is a little more modest start, 5-6, coming off a nice win over the Celtics on Sunday night, though. Of those two teams, where they're starting out right now, whose start are you buying more, Chad Finn?
I am actually starting to buy in on the Celtics, Ben. They're not going to win a championship this year. Banner, what is it, 19 isn't going up anytime soon. But I really like what I'm seeing from a lot of people. I like how Jaylen Brown is playing. I think Derek White and Peyton Pritchard will be fine once their shots start to fall a little bit more, and they're established good shooters. And some of the young guys are really fun to watch. Josh Minot, Jordan Walsh has been coming on. It looked like he was buried. Now he's knocking down game-clinching three-pointers. And Hugo Gonzalez looks like a steal in the draft just with the energy that he plays with. So I think the Celtics team is going to be much more entertaining than we thought, and we'll probably win a few more games than we anticipated.
So, I'm not buying the Celtics start because at 5-6, they're 10th in the East.
How dare you?
And, I think they're better than 10th in the East, so I'm not buying that this bad. At the same time, Chad, can they defend the paint? Can they out-rebound another team? Their lack their lack of size on the inside is very troubling for this team moving forward.
But Keita is playing well. He's reckless on defense. He loves to block every shot he can, and he's a lot of the reason why that they struggle with their rebounding because he's out of position. But when he plays well, he's very effective. And I think they're going to figure it out there a little bit. They got a good game against in the second one against Orlando from Luka Garza. It's going to be piecing it together with the bigs every night for Joe Mazzulla, but it's not as hopeless as it looked in the first 5 or so games of the season.
No, that's true, and it's certainly not as hopeless for the Bruins. I think there was not a whole lot of hope for that team entering the season, but they've ripped off 6 straight wins now, Chad. I'm not fully there on buying them yet. I think they have been beating up on some bad teams, but I think the Eastern Conference is also down. They will have a good test this week, later this week when they play Montreal, and then they head out west again. They had their struggles on the West Coast, but Morgan Geekie apparently is going to be a 50-goal scorer. Who knew, Chad?
Nobody knew. He was in the 30s last year, right? I think he had 33 and looked like a really good fit with David Pastrnak, but he's taken another leap this year, and their offense has been way more prolific than anybody anticipated. And I think the biggest thing, Ben, with his team is they're buying into Marco Sturm, that they took some lumps early, and now they're playing great hockey. that reflects really well on the coach.
Yeah, and the NHL is a sport where you can grind your way through 82 games and grind your way to that 8th seed and get into the playoffs. And I mean, it's probably not going to end in a cup run for the Bruins this year, but I am buying the fact that they can Marco Sturm their way into one of those final playoff spots, just as long as they can figure out maybe some more on the goaltending in there. Okay, moving on, Chad. Let's go to this week's Slam Dunk. I don't know if you heard, there was another gambling scandal in Major League Baseball over the weekend. 2 Guardians pitchers were accused of rigging pitches. And for today's Slam Dunk, I've got a solution that's really pretty simple if we're serious about cleaning up sports. Ban prop bets and over-unders. These are the bets that are most easily manipulated by the players, and these are the common thread between all these scandals, from Terry Rozier to the Guardians pitchers to Jonte Porter, who was banned from the NBA for life. So the prop bets are also the ones that earn the athletes the most death threats. So pro sports are never going to be fully clean, but banning prop bets is a good start to avoid more of these scandals. All right, Chad, let's move back now to breaking it down. Let's move over to some hardball. The MLB winter meeting starting up this week in Las Vegas. The Red Sox go in. It's a pretty big offseason for them. They don't have Alex Bregman right now after he opted out. They do have Trevor Story. What do you think the game plan's got to be moving forward here for the Red Sox?
Well, I'd love to see Alex Bregman come back. He was a great fit, really good influence on the younger players, had a great first half offensively, good defensive third baseman, all those things you want. But they cannot be a hostage to his agent, Scott Boras, who likes to keep his guys deep into free agency to gain as much leverage as he can. I think Bregman was out there till February last year before he signed with the Red Sox. They can't wait for him. They need to prioritize going after, if it's Pete Alonso, who I like, Kyle Schwarber, getting a number 2 starting pitcher, all these things to add to a really likable, successful Red Sox team last year. Go take care of those things, even if Bregman is making you play the waiting game, and then maybe you'll have some leverage with him, as it turns out.
So here's my question, though, Chad. If they're going to have to wait till February for Bregman, and it seems like it's like that for all Boras clients, does that make it harder to then land a Pete Alonso? Do you need kind of Bregman for the recruiting angle of the whole thing?
I don't think so, Ben. I think you go get Pete Alonso and show him that big wall in left field and say, can you hit the ball over that? And he's going to say yes 40 times a year or something like that. And the question with Alonso is whether the Red Sox want to pay for a DH, because they love cycling guys into that DH spot and that first base spot. But he would be a great fit. You just can't allow Bregman's situation to prevent you from doing anything you need to do.
I mean, is there any chance that the Red Sox come out of these meetings and, wow, we have a new player? Or are these meetings just all talk, you know?
Probably all talk for now, but then the action starts to happen afterwards. They're laying the groundwork right now, Ben. That's how I'd frame it.
All right, a slow process. All right, thanks a lot, Chad. Coming up next, Danielle Dubois heads out to Gillette Stadium to get some of your hot takes. Chad Finn and I will talk about them next. Welcome back to the show. And Chad, now it's time for our segment Wicked Loud, where we bring in Danielle Dubois, who went out and talked to you, the fans, and got your hot takes. Danielle, what do you got for us this week?
We're going to start it off strong by going back to Gillette Stadium and Chris, who is very optimistic about this Bruins team.
Boston Bruins right now are not a bad team. They're building it back up, and they're going to come back and contend for the playoffs.
I mean, we just talked about it, but Chad, Ben, do you guys actually think that the Bruins could compete this year?
I think it's a pretty good take. I don't think it's very hot, lukewarm, tepid maybe at best, but I think Chris is right on it. The Bruins are not as bad as people maybe thought at the beginning of the season. They're definitely scoring more goals than we thought. And, yeah, in the Eastern Conference where half the teams make the playoffs, why shouldn't they compete for it?
Yeah, I want to know what he thought at the start of the season, because he sounds like he's convinced himself that they're better than he thought and that they're going to be at least in the playoff conversation and then probably get in. So he's feeling better, I think, about that Bruins team than he was at the start of the year.
I mean, with this Bruins offense, if they keep it up, I would not be shocked. Our second Wicked Loud comes from Jack, which is an email about the Boston Cannons, which reads, my hottest take is that the Boston Cannons and the Premier Lacrosse League deserve more coverage than the Revolution. I mean, do we really think that they should be brought into the light a little bit more for the media?
You know, it's an interesting point that he makes. I would say prove it a little more. Like, give us your argument why they deserve more coverage. I mean, the Revs don't exactly get a ton of ink in our paper either. I think we only cover the home games for them for the most part. But, you know, the Revs aren't, until they get their stadium in Boston, the Revs aren't a huge part of the sporting scene here. So I don't know. I don't know enough about the Cannons to tell you if they really deserve a lot of coverage in the Globe.
Well, lacrosse is an awesome sport for sure. I'm not big on saying another team should lose coverage to give another team coverage, but make your case. Send an email to the sports editor. Make your case for the Cannons to get a little more attention.
I mean, as a past lacrosse player myself, I would love to see it. Let's try to advocate for that for the next show. Our next segment is Saved You a Click, and the biggest story possibly in sports this week is Tom Brady cloning his dog. I mean, so many thoughts. His past dog passed away in 2023. He loved it so much, he said, let's run it back. Guys, what do you guys think about this?
Chad, you want to take this one first?
I'm thinking about whether Tom Brady's cloned other things beside his dogs, and he just hasn't revealed it to us yet. But it's weird, which is totally in line with everything Tom Brady has done basically since he retired from the NFL. It's not the same dog. It can have a different personality. It doesn't look exactly the same, but I think maybe the most normal thing about this, Ben, is that he really loved his pet, which is good for you, Tom. Good for loving your dog like that.
Yeah, I mean, I know Tom Brady is not an evil supervillain, but if he were, cloning your dog is something that an evil supervillain would do. Just another example of he's not like you and me. He's a little bit different from the rest of us, but I agree. You know what? At least he loved his dog and wanted to continue a second relationship with a similar dog. All right, Danielle Dubois, thank you very much for that. Chad, let's finish the show here with our Hail Marys, our predictions of the week. Chad, what do you got for us?
I think the Celtics are going to keep this little hot streak, quote unquote, going here and beat Philadelphia Tuesday night, avenging an early season loss and continuing the stretch of pretty good play from a team that seems to be figuring things out.
My Hail Mary, let's go to the Patriots. They play the Jets on Thursday night. I don't know if you saw Justin Fields on Sunday. They beat the Browns, but on throws beyond the line of scrimmage, he was 2 for 7 passing for 7 yards the entire game. On Thursday night, the Patriots will hold Justin Fields to negative passing yards for the game. That's my Hail Mary. All right, thank you very much, Danielle Dubois, Chad Finn, Pedro Martinez, Tim Healy. I'm Ben Volin. Thank you very much for watching the Boston Globe Sports Report. We'll catch you guys next week.